Welcome everybody, it's Unstoppable Stilezzi here for another Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition Age of the World mod Civ overview. Today I figured we could do the Egyptians, another African Civ that was put into the Age of the World mod. The Egyptians, though they do have, I would say, pretty insignificant minor similarities to the Egyptians in Wars of Liberty, they're mostly a totally new thing here, I would say, 100%. Now, if you recall from Wars of Liberty, the Egyptian Civ was basically like a nomad camel Civ, right? Like a caravan Civ. Obviously, you know, Egypt is nothing like that, at least for the parts around the Nile, and I think this Civ definitely did a much better job at representing the Egypt that we know and love, basically. As well as, you know, you can even see the Sphinx, the pyramids, the obelisks. There are some cool little trinkets from old Egypt as well there too. Let's look at the cards first and then we can get into the gameplay and visual stuff next. So right here in Age 1 we got some cards here from the standard Africans as well as some new stuff too. So we got the villagers, we got the cattle, we got some crates here including the influence ones. Now this is one of the new cards, it's called Senate, not as in the U.S. Senate, but Senate, S-E-N-E-T. Most techs research much faster, and market and unit upgrade techs become cheaper. So, yeah, basically, it's a good way to cheapen a lot of your technologies, and it says in general, most of your techs are going to research faster. So, if you like cheaper techs that come faster, you're going to like this card. You got advanced agriculture. This is a pretty common one for African civs. Same thing with port. Fellahin farmers. Villagers gather food faster from Egyptian fields and berry bushes. So I believe there is a similar card to this in the Wars of Liberty Egyptians, but it's called Nile Flood. But it's sort of the same idea. Basically improves your farming and berry gather rates, basically. You got fish market, you got sawmills, cotton markets. Villagers gather gold faster from Egyptian fields. So, yeah, basically the Egyptian field, just like the ones of other African civs, can gather multiple resources. Agricultural shows. Research is the first tier of farming upgrades for Egyptian fields, and subsequent upgrades become cheaper, so... Yeah, one thing you're going to notice about the Egyptian fields is they can gather food, coin, or wood. So this is actually has a lot more value than you might expect because, well, it's helping you with all the resources, really, not just two of them. Also, you got ironmonger, you got wood crafting, barrages. When this arrives, all your wood is exchanged for influence. And then you got furrier. Let's go on to H2 now. You got Crossing Festival. I think this one belonged to the Hausa usually, am I correct? You also got 4 villagers, a bunch of crates. Then we got this cool card here called Abu Simbel Sun Festival. Grants a town center the Abu Simbel Sun Festival ability that decreases villagers' train time for a short while when used. This power is also used when this shipment arrives free of cooldown. So, yeah, a really nice little booster card you can use. Trade builders, mass levies, palaces of Cairo. Ships 2 palace builders and palaces become cheaper. So, not only does it give you palaces from the get-go, it makes all the other ones you want to build 25% cheaper. So, if you like a lot of defenses, you'll like this one, I think. Suez Canal. Trade route upgrades are free and research instantly. Delivers 3 trading post wagons. So, basically this, except it's also making your trade route upgrade stuff free too. Wow. You could really combine this with that and like take over an entire map of stuff. It's actually kind of insane. You know, like 6 trade sockets getting eaten up in H2 by Egypt. That's something I didn't really pay attention to before, but now that I'm looking at it, this is really good for maps that have at least 5 trade sockets on the trade route. That's really significant, actually. Really significant. 2 camp builders, trade empire. It's basically more healers. Dukkha increases the maximum food total herdables can fatten to, and increases the yield from herdables. So if you like herdables, definitely use that. Same thing with draft oxen and rendering plants, silversmith, cattle fertilizers. Villagers can gather food and coin from Egyptian fields, as well as construct them more quickly. What else we got? Spice trade. Some of these desert outlaw units that the African civs get. Navy stuff. Kind of a duplicate of the Moroccans and the Yoruba in terms of support units, but that's pretty okay. Cavalry attack. Our first military unit, the Bedouin Musketeer. It's basically a I can't quite remember what the stats are. I think it's closer to a Janissary than a normal musket, if I recall correctly. It's pretty good. It's pretty solid. And then you got some infantry stat upgrades here too. Moving on to H3. More crates, more cows, a covered wagon. Pyramid text increases monuments influence generation. We'll get into that once we get into the gameplay piece. Feudal armies. Book of the Dead grants 10 influence for every unit you have lost so far in the game. So this is a really good card to basically send if you've basically had some really large battles and you've lost a lot of stuff. It's a really good way to recover your influence numbers very quickly, you know. Basically, as Egypt, you're not necessarily the Yoruba, right? Influence does not just grow on trees, so anything like this will definitely be a good boost for you, pretty much. Yep, and then you got Call of the Sultan. Arrives fast. A group of 5 Bazingers and 5 Bedouin musketeers spawn around the Sultan. Mosque construction. This is basically the same card that we saw with the Moroccans, and will basically give you the same technologies that it does, basically. So we don't really need to go into that again. If you want to check that out, go check out my Morocco thing and see what those techs do, pretty much. And then from here, we have Egyptian army reforms. Egyptian infantry gain extra resistance against siege attacks and have their costs reduced. So soldiers become cheaper, and they can tank some cannon shots too. Their siege armor becomes about 0.15. Yeah, it's noticeable. I mean, I think it's going to particularly be useful against things like Abyss gunners and grenadiers, but even a cannon, especially if you're upgrading your stuff well, might allow it to actually survive some direct hits. Abunas, more healers. Shawarma. Villagers gather food from huntable and herdable animals faster. Cromer reforms. All villager gather rates improved. Also, we got loyal warriors, more African Navy stuff, more support units. Pretty similar to the Moroccans and Yoruba. Now, here's some units in the actual Egyptian roster. We got the Mamluks. Basically, what you would expect, a pretty tanky hand cav unit. You got the Camel Javelineers. Good against hand cavalry, particularly in melee. So, basically, it's a bit different than the Tuareg camel archers we saw with Morocco. These guys are going to be a bit better in melee, honestly, but they'll do okay at range too. Cavalry combat, more Bedouin musketeers. We got the Egyptiotes, a highly skilled soldier from the Sultan's personal guard that is deadly at close range and throws grenades at buildings. So basically, it's essentially like a coyote runner. Actually, more like a Shotel warrior when you see the stats. But it's got a decent siege because of its grenade throwing. So it's basically a Shotel warrior with good siege. Also, you got Bazingers. These are basically, I believe these are skirmishers, if I recall correctly. Got infantry combat. Then you got Gatling camels, Gatling guns, and Sevastopol's. Egypt gets a lot of artillery options. You know, they get about 3 artillery options. The Ethiopian big mortars, and then they get 2 different machine gun types. So, if you like artillery, Egypt's going to be a good friend of yours, usually. Infinite villagers, bunch of crates, more cows, native treaties, livestock market, royal fortifications. Flood of the Nile. Egyptian fields spawned a food crate and a coin crate. Villagers gather from berry bushes in Egyptian fields faster. And this is all the actions too. So the food, the wood, and the coin. Ships 4 villagers and increases their build limit by 4. So this card is doing a lot of stuff at the same time. A whole lot of stuff basically. So if you want to basically get a general improvement of your current stockpile resources as well as your long-term eco, very valuable card, and I wouldn't give it up for anything. More support stuff similar to the other civs. And then from here, all the units we've seen so far. You know, the Gatlings, the Gatling Camels, the Vassiples, Bazingers, Egyptiotes, Fedahin, Camel Javelineers, and then the Mamluks. So there we go. That is all our stuff right there. What now? What should we do now? I think we should do this deck. I usually like this one, typically. Because, see, Egypt is a pretty good FF civ. So if you like doing a lot of FFs, I would recommend you do Egypt. I mean, we could try that out for ourselves, so I could prove it to you pretty much. But yeah, we'll see it right now. What would be a good map? Do we have anything that's very Egypt-like? Let me see. What do we got? Anything fun? Anything Egypty-like? Could do Arabia. I mean, that wouldn't be a bad one. I like this map. Yeah, let's do this one. Russians. Alright. I think we'll have a pretty easy time with the Russians, honestly. Don't see any issues popping up with this. Alright, so my explorer's name's Saladin. And we will basically start engaging with stuff. Your explorer gets a charged gun attack, so we'll do a charged attack, and then he'll proceed to do his melee stuff after that. Let's get these villagers to work. You can still build granaries, and actually you can't build granaries now that I remember correctly. What you can build is something called a stela. Not as in a woman named Stella, but a cool Egyptian obelisk that will actually improve your resource gathering around the thing. So if you want better resource gathering, put a Stella by it. Yeah, definitely. And another thing it does too, which I could show you once we get some coin, is it also boosts up your monuments as well. Yeah, so let me find that right now. Yeah, wait a second. Somebody's writing something to me. Yeah, basically somebody was DMing me for Arena. It's totally fine, though. Just wanted to get this done for you guys before I did that. So, yeah. If you haven't played Arena, by the way, definitely go do that. It's really fun, you know. Instead of basically giving you an advertisement for Squarespace or MySpace or something, I'll give it to you for the Arena scenario. There's my advertisement of the day. Play Arena. It's very fun. Lots of battles, all sorts of stuff. So, back to the Egyptians. Back to the video. Yeah, so basically the monument is this big, cool Egyptian building that generates your influence for you. It can either be a sphinx, a pyramid, or some uncovered group of ruins. It's totally randomized what the model will be when it's constructed. But, yeah, it's a pretty interesting way to get influence, you know. The Yoruba with their little baby little plazas. Now, what the Egyptians offer you will certainly go pretty well. And the best way to take advantage of monuments, because you can only have about, 4 of them, is basically spam these around them. Because the more of these you spam around the thing, the higher the influence trick will be from each of those monuments, pretty much. Alright, let's get that wood. What now? Let's just go with our, I'll get this deck. This deck's fine. Yeah, let's just age up now. So, we got a lot of cool options here. What do I usually get? Let's go with the French. I'll go with the French. French is alright. Let's get the French first. Excuse my French, but the French are pretty okay. Yeah, this is the thing with all these new Africans. You get all these cool new alliance types. And as I said in the Yoruba video, basically any of these so-called allied units that you get will not cost any population space. So they're basically like native warriors almost, but really strong in their shadow tech. So it's a really good way to gain an advantage over your non-African opponent. Unless, yeah, if they're using Africans, watch out. But if they're not, you should have a nice big beefy army of strong stuff to use against them, pretty much. Yeah. Got the village dogs now. Let's see if we can find any treasures around here. The dude's literally standing on top of a treasure right now. Should I try to go for it? Maybe. Maybe I can. Let's get that. Very nice fella. He could have stolen that from me with the Vil, but he didn't. He's a nice simp. A Simpson. Very nice Simpson of a man. Alright, let's get the coin first, and then we can get our Cairo palaces now, after that. Now, let me get the coin first, and then we'll get the Cairo palaces there. But we should have some really good defenses after we do that. Fortunately, I think this native embassy is going to be a dud until we ally some natives on the map. But there is a... I don't think there is any on Arabia, right? I don't think there's any natives on this map, so... It's a cool building to look at. Yeah, basically. Oh, cool building. You can also train CBDs with the French allies as well, which is pretty strong. So we'll just pick up this coin now. Yeah, if we're gonna build another Stella, we gotta basically put it within a reasonable distance so we can fit a monument through there eventually. We're doing pretty good on our age up timing. Get that, and we'll get the XP. The lad's already attacking me. That's always nice. So much for my fast fortressing. As long as I get my Stella done, I should be happy. Hopefully. He's already attacking me. What do we do? Well, our palaces are going to arrive, thankfully. That's good. So let's put them right over here. Yep, we'll put them right down over there. Yep, right there. Get away from me. Get away from me. Punch, 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 punch. Punch him. Punch him. Punch him. Punch him. No, punch him. There we go. So I guess these things are not going to be used. I didn't know he was going to rush me this fast. I had no idea actually he was going to rush me this fast. So what now? Just rush the villages out and get the crates? Yeah, looks like it. You know what? You know what? I wanted to do something normal, but this is what we're going to do. There you go. Let's just leave this over here so we can do our little overview for the day, alright? Yeah, and while we're at, let's just use our other cool tools too. Alright, so let's just go over all their units pretty much and everything so you can see what they look like statistically. Alright, so we got our war camp here. So the Egyptians are more of the traditional African civ, thus they use the war camp for their regular stuff and then the palace for their more elite stuff. So this is the Featherhind Musketeer. Statistically, pretty okay Musketeer. It's not quite as strong as the Janissary, as you can imagine, but, you know, does pretty well. And the cost is about the same as a normal musket, basically. Here's the Egyptiote. statistically the same as a Sheltel Warrior, but as you can see, the siege is really good. It's got about 45 siege on the thing. Actually has more siege than these Puro chicks do, being a polearm unit, which is pretty insane, actually. Yeah, pretty insane when you think about it. Yep, so we'll just put that over there for now. Just clean that up. Here's the next unit. We got here the Mamluk. These guys are very tanky, as you can imagine. They also got multipliers against Cav, so maybe relate to the Camel Rider almost. Yeah, kind of an interesting pick for them to do. And then here's the Camel Javelin here. These guys got a range attack of about 20, and their hand attack is about 10. So in general, going to be good against Cav, but also artillery overall. The rate of fire is that of a Cav Archer 2, so it's about 1.5. Yep, clean up some of these. There we go. Alright, yep, that's what happens when you put this code on. The AI just keeps flinging at you, so let's just age up with the Ottomans maybe. Do that. And then we can go up with the Greeks, I think. And we could also go with the Maltese. Yeah, that's another fun one. So we'll do that. There. Okay, so now we will upgrade the infantry and cavalry separately. Just got some more resources. Yep, so we can upgrade this. So for artillery, you got the Gatling Camel. You know how this thing works, right? Then you got the Gatling gun, and then you have the, where is it? It's the Sevastopol right here. And these are basically the same as their other counterparts, pretty much statistically. Obviously, the Gatling Camel is going to be weaker than the Mercenary, but as you upgrade him, he's going to become statistically closer to his Mercenary counterpart, basically. You can see right there what he's like statistically. Alright, so let's show you some of the other cool things you can do. So if you ally with the Greeks, you can get the Evzanai natives at your palace. These guys are basically statistically going to be the same as they are for the House of Fanar, basically. Also, you can get Safahis with the Ottomans, as well as Janissaries. I think I showed you this with the Ottomans already, right? With the Moroccans, right? So that's basically the same. The French give you Fusiliers. Now, this is very powerful. This is a very powerful influence unit to have. And also we can get Hospitaliers as well as Hoop Throwers with the Maltese. Nice combo of stuff, basically. Also, they come with all their special upgrade cards, too. So if you look here, the Hoop Throwers come with their Flamethrower as well as their Rocket Attack. And then the Hospitaliers, I believe, come with one of their special upgrade cards as well. Yep, and let's make some of those monuments so you know what those look like. So let's make a monument right here. We can put it right in the spot. Yep, see, sometimes it can pop out as a pyramid. Sometimes it can come out as a ruin like that. And occasionally it can come out as a other pyramid. Yeah, look at that. Even another pyramid. And then let's see what the last one is. Yeah, this. Let me see if I can get you the Sphinx. The Sphinx is pretty neat. I'll just keep doing it until I can get it constructed. Yep. Try a few more times. It's a pretty cool looking building. Yep. A few more times. I wish you could do it on demand. Say, hey, I want a Sphinx. Yeah, unfortunately, it's not that nice. Yep, I'll try a few more times. Sorry, I just was really see the Sphinx. I haven't seen it in a while. Yep, I'll try one more time and that's it. I'm not doing it again. If you want to see the Sphinx, you have to come and download the mod for yourself. And here's the Sphinxy. Here he is. Was it that hard to get him? Alright, so now that we have all our monuments here, all our variants, let's show you what it does. So as you can see, it trickles you influence per second. Obviously a lot more than normal because we have a cheat code on. Inspiration of greatness. Villagers around the monument generate XP when gathering. So basically it turns your villagers into like Mapuche villages. See this while they work? Look at all the XP they generate around that tree when they're hanging around the monument. Right? And if we build these stelas around the monument, right, let's just wall them around them like this. Like that. Like that. Like that. Notice how the influence is going up exponentially. Right, I mean in a realistic game where you don't have the cheat code on, it's going to be a lot less than this, but you get the idea. Right, basically try to build as many of these around the monument as possible to get the most influence, especially considering you can only have 4 of these bad boys, so you gotta, you know, micromanage as best as you can. So this is the Egyptian field here. It's a very big farm, similar to the Yoruba ones. This one can have up to 10 villages on it, so almost like a mill. Yeah. And basically you can either have it on food like this, you can have it on coin, or you can have it on wood. So, yep. And then to upgrade it, you basically would come over to the Stella and do the upgrades here. These ones are pretty normal when you're used to them, but here are the wood ones too. You got 0 phytic cypresses, micro irrigation, and wood ash fertilization. Yeah, so does it... And also large-scale farming will improve the gather rate for wood too, so don't worry about that. You'll be covered in that area as well, so that's pretty good. Why don't we just put this on coins, so we don't have to worry about... That should handle our woes on that. Alright, let's make our CBDs. These guys are basically just the same as regular CBDs pretty much, except that they cost influence instead of food. Right. So what do we do now? Let's go over the special text at the monument for the allies that we got. So these are the French texts. Increases villagers' coin gather from Egyptian fields, French vineyards. So we'll get that. Prove your gather rate of that. House of Bonaparte ships you about 5 falconets. Nice, 5 falconets. What else do we got? Ottoman galleys. We already looked at these ones, I believe. What about the Greeks? We got the birthplace of democracy. Gives you a lot of XP. And Greek Orthodox scriptures. Reduces the cost of temple texts. As well as it looks like eco-text too, because look at the side there. It says 0 fixed cypresses, cash crops, all those becoming cheaper too. So a really nice cheapener of text. And the multis have the Great Siege of Malta, which will give you about 3 fixed guns that you can put around your base and everything. Like that. Like this, yep. Great for defense, basically. There we go. And then the last one here. Order of the Knights Hospitalier. Allows your units to become stronger near buildings, especially fortifications. So it's a good way to make all your units super tanky now when you're around your base and when you got forts nearby. Yep, after we've done that, let's just try to see if we can actually battle this bot head on once we get enough houses and stuff. I'm going to build some houses right now, and then we can get right down to it. Basically, we're probably going to need like a real Egyptian villager to do that. Let's just construct that. This, what else? This, that, this. Yeah, let's get like 200 pop. Actually, we can use the technology here to help us get some population as well. About 2 more houses. There. Alright, perfect. And now I am basically going to try to put some military buildings here. And let me get some stuff right now. And we will do this battle for probably the next 30 minutes or so. So let me do that. Let me delete this. There. Let me do that. Yep, let's get some Egyptiotes out. We'll get some Gatling Camels out. Get some influence units out. Get some more influence units out. These ones, and Mamelukes, Bazingers, Felihin. Yeah, let's just spam everything we can and try to do like a real battle here. Also, I'll get all the upgrades now too, so that'll be set. Alright, these are all our stats upgrades, so we should be ready to go for a fight right now. Yep, let's go in right now. Alright, let's do it. Let's push. Got these big armies right here. Yep, let's go for it right here. Alright, let's push. Alright, let's push right here. Let's get that. I think we should be able to do this pretty easily. What do you think? Oh, he's counterattacking me there. That's perfect, right? Alright, I'll come back. I'll send some forward and just keep these ones here.
I needed that trading post. You will be sorry to attack it.
Now let's get some more defense on this side. Alright, let's get some Bazingers out to deal with the Cav Archers. Alright, should be able to clean these up right here. Alright, I'm gonna add some reinforcements in now. Alright, let's target the Grenadiers if possible. Yeah, the Pavlovskis. Might be able to do it on this go too. One thing to do when you're doing these weird type of cheat code battles is you always want to put your buildings a bit more forward. Yeah, so I'll put them a bit forward like this. Put palace here. Also, we could get this now too, just to show you what it does. Yep, notice how my villager build limit is 103 now instead of 99. Isn't that pretty cool? Definitely helps you with your eco. Put some of you on the food, right? Like that. Should be good for that resource now. Let's go in. Get some Fusiliers now, some Hospitaliers. Got some Gatling Camels, I think, now. Yep. Yeah, we're doing pretty good, you know. This is something you'll find when you're doing that like actual matches as Egypt, is you'll basically be able to do some sort of FF into the Gatling Camels followed by these and then this to basically do a push in Age 3. Similar to what I showed you before with the Pirates of, you know, it's actually quite powerful. And kind of a nod off to the Egyptian FI in Wars of Liberty, where you also spam some very powerful artillery units very quickly to overwhelm your opponents pretty much, yeah. Yeah, basically once you get your upgrades in, your army's pretty unstoppable overall. even as unstoppable as this Gillespie, pretty much, yeah. Jassers. That. Let me take my Sevastopol forward there. Get some more reinforcements. Probably should get a few more of these, honestly, for the siege. Get some Gatlings, some of these. That. This is actually one of the quickest sieges we've ever done before using the cheat stuff, so I'm definitely very impressed by that. 100% impressed by that, really. Yep. Getting completely cooked by the artillery. The artillery is doing most of the heavy lifting for us, I would say. Yeah. These. Some of these. Do that. Get that blockhouse down there. We get the Moors onto that production bill now. At blockhouse now. Got that one now. That was a very quick one. So before we close, I wanted to show you some additional allies that you can get as well that I don't think we covered yet. So let me restart now and show you those. I think there's one or two of them actually, so we'll just do that real quickly. We already went over the Bedouins with the Moroccans. I wanted to show you the Mizrahi and the Hashemites. I believe these are the ones we haven't done, right? So we'll do those now. Sunnis, you know from the Ethiopians already. So you don't have to go over those ones, right? So I'll just get a monument now. Right about here. Let me get it right in this spot. For safety, I'll just get that. I don't know. Should be good. So these are all the texts that you get, basically. These are the ones for the Mizrahi. Increases the amount of influence generated by your monuments. So if you research this, it goes from 75 up to 102.5. So obviously, if we turn the cheat code off, speed always wins. It's going to look like a normal. Let me do that again. See, now it's only 1.13, so that's what the real amount would be, just so you know for perspective. And then Watu Mungui, or what is that, Mungui or something? Mungui. All future age-ups become cheaper. And then for some of the Bedouin ones, you get this. I think we already did the Bedouins, right? Hashemites don't seem to have any technologies, which I find kind of interesting. Yeah, definitely. Now this is interesting. You also have the option to get these camps at your town center too, so you can construct up all these palaces and stuff on the fly, which is pretty neat. Also, this is what the Egyptian tower looks like, just so you know. It looks like a literal obelisk sticking out of the structure there. If we upgrade it, it gains a little bit more roofing on the bottom there, as you can see. So yeah, there we go. The Egyptians. Very fun civilization overall to play. I definitely recommend them to you if you're looking to do another African Civ that has a lot of a different feel than the stuff that DE put in the DLC. So yeah, I think the last African Civ I have to go over with you is probably the Zulu. We'll probably do that one next time, and then we can do some more Native American civs. We can do some of the campaign civs like the Circle of Osis and stuff. So there's a lot of other ones I still have to go over. So don't be sad. There's a lot more to cover in future episodes. So I'm signing off now from this one. See you next time on Stiletzi's channel.